Alright, what I'm doing now is I'm going to make, or try to, put a weed eater motor on a bicycle. I don't have the bike yet. I'm going to get one, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to get a motor ready for one. I've been looking on the internet on how they did theirs, and I never wanted the motor. I always wanted the motor straight on, like sleek, like, hang on, let me find something to show you. Alright, you're going to have to kind of use your imagination on this, but let me show you. Just say that this represents your bicycle. Just say the front wheel, back wheel. Anyway, just to get you an idea. The bike's going to be long ways this way, and most of the engines I saw on the internet were all sitting either off on the side or off on the back, hanging over the edge, which is going to throw your motor off balance and all that. So, I think I came up with a plan to get the motor straight on. Like, instead of, this is going to be my motor. Instead of my motor being mounted sideways, in order for it to line up the chains, it had to be hanging off the side of the bike. Instead, I'm going to put the motor long ways and have a 90-degree angle on it. I'll show you what I mean more here when I start putting it together. The first thing I need to do is figure out which way this motor spins. It's going to depend on if it's going to be mounted forward or backwards. So what I'm going to do is crank this motor up and see which way it spins. Okay, we know it's going to go that way. So it's going to be spinning counterclockwise. So, now I'll show you here in a second more what I'm going to do. Alright, my plan was, I was trying to figure out how to get a 90-degree angle on a straight shaft. How am I going to get this to turn and connect to a sprocket that's going to connect to a chain? Peeling out here, I don't throw much away, as you can tell. I'll let you look around the garage here in a second. It's pretty embarrassing almost. Anyway, I found this old burn up 9-inch grinder. This may be a 6-inch. Anyway, I noticed that the motor inside this grinder is straight. Yet, anybody want a dog? Because I think it's a kill motor. Anyway, the motor is straight, which has a 90-degree head in it, which spins. Here's one with a head off of it. What I'm going to do, see how that gear spins in there? What I'm going to do is take this armature out of the side of this grinder, and I'm going to make it square. See. If you look inside this hole, yeah, right, huh? If you look inside this hole, it's square. And what I'm going to do is make this armature that's round in this grinder square to where it can go in this hole and spin. So, I'm going to take this apart and I'm going to show you what the inside of this is going to look like. Alright, here's my alternate way of getting this off. I've tried beating it, hammering it, wedging a screwdriver in there, beating that apart, put it in the vise, nothing. So, let's see what we can do with this bad boy. As soon as I can find my striker anyway. There it is. So you can see I keep a clean, orderly place. Very important. I don't know if this is going to do any good or not. We'll find out. So I need some glasses too, just in case. We get 2 eyes. Most of the time, some people don't. Trying to melt this stuff out of here. Smells real good too, in case you wonder. I'm sure these fumes are good for me. Anyway, I'm not going to make you watch that all day long. I'm going to try that, see what I come up with. Alright. So, what I did, after I got all this out and all the crap off of it, this was a straight shaft. What I did is I went and square it off the edges on my grinder. We're just going to allow it. My weed eater clutch, square hole. It's going to allow it to go in there, just like that. Now, that's going to drive the drivetrain, hopefully. We'll see anyway. Now what I'm going to do, what I'm going to do is drill the hole in the back of this. And that's going to be for the back of this clutch to go through to hook into my drivetrain. See it down in there? Alright, what's cool about this grinder is to mount the head back on here, and as you can see, the shaft's in the back. That's what's going to turn my weed eater. I actually there's a fan inside there. I don't know if you can see through one of those holes. See it? Fan. It's made to cool the motor off, the armature and all on the side of this grinder. I'm going to leave it in here because hopefully it can keep this clutch from getting too hot, because I'm sure this small clutch on this weed eater is not made for heavy loads. So also, when I go to mount this on the bike, I'm going to want this head extremely steel. So what I'm going to do is this handle on this grinder, it's regular standard, I think it's 511 thread and bolts, I'm not sure exactly. Anyway, but there's handles for left-handers and right-handers. And what I'm going to do is use these holes also to mount it onto the bike. I'll screw it one down like that, or either one from the top, and just weld it to the frame so the head will be solid. Everything I'm doing here that I'm making is going to be interchangeable. In case the head goes out here, I'll be able to replace it with just a handful of screwdrivers. I won't have to cut or weld. And then the same goes with the weed eater motor goes out. It just pulls straight out. Now let me show you what I did when I got this motor on here. Drilled out the back hole. My next step I'm going to have to do is to get a plate that's going to mount from these holes, adapter plate, and then go back to these 4 holes. So once I do get that plate designed, when that clutch spins, see, now I'll have a 90-degree angle on here. And the thing about the 90-degree angle on this head, which is going to make it so easy to work on also, is grinder hubs 5/8 wheel. That's what screws onto the grinder's head, which is right here. You can take a sprocket and just a regular 5/8 bolt, and I'm going to weld it to it's the same thread as this. Exact same thread, and I'm going to weld it. I could weld the sprocket, actually not to that, but the 5/8 bolt. We'll screw right on here. I'm going to weld the sprocket to it, and then the sprocket will just screw right on. So when the bike goes in forward motion, it's going to be tight, and it won't go from an angle. What I'll do now, I'm going to screw this grinder wheel in here just to show you how fast this thing's going to spin. Let me get this on here. Hold the mount just right. Alright. Now I'm going to fire this motor up. Let me get some safety glasses. This may not be real safe. I'm going to fire this motor up, and this grinding wheel could go at either angle. Straight down, straight forward, left side, right side, depending on which way my bike's going to turn and the way this is going to turn. So let's see what happens when I fire this bad boy up. This is going to be kind of tricky. Actually, I'm going to get the motor warmed up, and then I'll fire it up. Okay, this is how it's going to work. Now, anyway, that's I gotta get the bracket built, and then once I get all that done, between here and here, this bad boy's gonna be ready to mount on the bicycle.